All right, so I came prepared today with our picks of what we had last week, and then I came prepared with paper to write down our picks for this week because I did not last week. I had to go back and listen and figure out who we picked because I couldn't remember.
It's very responsible of you. It was
You pick-
very responsible. Let's hear the results. I think I got you last week.
Well, my first question to you is: are you hitting the slopes or?
I just came from the slopes. This is the picks hat for the week.
I got you. Okay, I got something I'm going to bust out here for my picks because I didn't do too well last week, and I need something to give me a spark. So we're in week 8 of the NFL. This is week 7 results. So the Denver New Orleans game, we both picked New Orleans. Dead wrong there. Denver came out on top on that one. The Jacksonville Patriots game, another dead wrong pick. We both picked the Patriots. Jacksonville won that one. 3 in a row, dead wrong. We both picked Atlanta. Seattle ended up beating Atlanta. You called 50 total points for that game. It was not 50 points. Close though. I think it was like 43 or 44, something like that.
Close enough.
Yeah, well, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. So
Vegas would say otherwise.
We did get the Buffalo-Tennessee game right. We both picked Buffalo. We got the Cincinnati-Cleveland game right. We both picked Cincinnati. This is where it starts to differ. The Houston-Green Bay game, I picked Houston. You picked Green Bay. Green Bay won that game, so you were right on that pick. We both picked Indianapolis to beat Miami. Indianapolis won. The Detroit-Minnesota game, you picked Detroit. I picked Minnesota. I feel like that could have gone either way, though, but you were right on that one. Philadelphia and the New York Giants, we both picked Philadelphia. We're both correct there. We were both correct for the Los Angeles Rams games versus the Raiders. You called the Rams winning by 25. I'm pretty sure they won by like 3 or 4 points. So you were way wrong on that one. I just like to point out the fact that you were wrong if you can't figure that out already.
Still got the win, though. I still get the win.
You did. I got a win on that one, too. The Washington-Carolina game, we both picked Washington. You said high-scoring affair for both teams. High-scoring affair for one team.
Yeah.
And the Kansas City-San Francisco game, you picked the Chiefs. I picked the 49ers. So you were right on that one. We both picked Pittsburgh over New York Jets. And I picked Baltimore in the Monday night game. I did call a huge Derrick Henry game. He had like 169 yards rushing, so I was correct on that. You picked Tampa Bay. Baker let you down. And this one surprised me the most. You picked Arizona over the Chargers, and you were right. So everything that I said previously there, we'll just swipe that away because I did not expect that to happen. When I picked Arizona as the sleeper pick, they bombed the game, and they came through for you this week. So you picked Arizona, and I picked the Chargers. So the record for week 7, you were 11-4. I went 8-7. The total on the year so far, since we just started counting back in week 6, you're 26-4, and I'm 19-11.
26-4.
Yeah,
man.
Those are both respectable records. I feel like I'm not just saying that because I'm in second place.
Is that what you're calling it? Second place?
I mean, there's no other place. Last place.
You can call it second. I'm going to call it last.
Okay, you do that. But you're 26-4.
Right.
I'm 19-11 so far. So we'll see how the rest of the week or the rest of the year plays out. We are in week 8. So we'll go ahead and get started on that, and we'll make our picks for week 8. So let me get my schedule up here. So last night I do want to point out why you do that. Honestly, I don't think that the Patriots-Jaguars game should have counted. Why?
I don't think that we should be subject to pick that kind of game. You know, you got a team that's 1-5 and they could be 0-6, and another team that definitely should be 0-6. We shouldn't have to pick that game. That's a trash game. Just saying. I know we both got it wrong.
You're ragging on your own team.
They look bad, man. They look bad.
They do look bad.
And Bo Nix doesn't know, you know, one week he plays amazing, the next week he can't score any points, and then the next week he's flip-flop. I mean, it's like, you know, where we live right now, he don't know whether to turn on the heat or not. It's like, it's cold, but I don't want to turn on the heat yet. I'm still not picking him, so. You
Dude,
know this.
my electric bill is nuts right now because there's no in between. It's either the air conditioner's on and it's using electricity there, or the heat's on
Hmm.
and it's using electricity there. Where are the days where I don't need anything and just put the windows open?
I know, dude. Just seriously, either open the windows or crank up that fireplace.
Oh yeah, I do have a fireplace. I always forget about my fireplace. It's covered in toys, so
Well, clear them out.
that's what happens
Clear
when
them
you
out.
got two little girls. They use it as their crib and their doll babies' beds. So yeah, I think they'd be pretty upset if I burnt their toys. But all right, let's get to week 8. So last night, today's Friday, the 25th. We are a day late on this, but that's okay. So last night, it was a pretty good game last night. Minnesota and the Rams. Minnesota ended up losing to the Rams. If I could have picked a team to win last night, I probably would have picked Minnesota. I wasn't so sure on the Rams because Cooper Kupp was back, Puka Nacua was back, both great things. But whenever a player comes back off an injury like that, they're usually not straight out performing. But they both did last night, and
Hmm.
Nacua did well. Cooper Kupp had a good game. Stafford looked like $1,000,000. And Kyron Williams, both rushing and receiving, he's always going to produce for the Rams. They better never get rid of that guy. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, agreed. I don't know who I would have picked, but I think it would have been at least close for me. I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna find it a hard time to pick the Vikings going forward because I really thought that they were just a counterfeit team to begin with, and now they're just kind of proving it. They went out there 5-0. They lost last week. They lost last night. Yeah, not a fan of what the Vikings got going.
There's a rumor going around that they might be shopping Sam Darnold around before the trade deadline, and I also heard that
Mhm.
they're looking at Matthew Stafford at coming in for the Vikings. When I talked about this at the beginning of the week before the game last night, because I touched on it in one of my other shows, I talked about how the Vikings shouldn't give up on Sam Darnold. He's kind of been having an MVP season. He's been doing really well
Mhm.
in Sam Darnold standards, but I mean, the man used to see ghosts. Now I thought he was seeing championships, but that's obviously not the
Mhm.
case. So
Yeah.
the Vikings the Viking staff might know what they're doing, trying to look for another quarterback. But we all know JJ McCarthy's the future over there. So how long can
Mhm.
Sam Darnold really have left to go? You know what I mean? So
Right.
I feel like it's kind of a lose-win situation for the Vikings because if Sam Darnold plays like crud, um, they can go out and get somebody like Matt Stafford, sign him for I don't know 2 years or so. Let McCarthy sit behind him next year if he's on the squad still, and then McCarthy can take over because I feel like Matthew Stafford only has a few years left. He's getting up there in age. He shows those games where he's kind of falls off a little bit, but then he has those miraculous, brilliant games like in the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
And that's usually what happens with quarterbacks. They have hit or miss games once their careers start winding down. So that's just my thoughts. I agree with you, though. I am no longer on the Vikings train. I was till yesterday. So,
I never got on board. I never bought a ticket for that train.
yeah. Well, you did the right thing there. All right. That was Thursday's game. Now, here's my item for picks.
Oh, it's kind. I mean, honestly, it's kind of unfair. It's unfair. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to beat that. I
The
mean,
picks shades. I feel like that meme where the glasses come in from the other side. It's like, you
you
know
know
what I
who you
mean?
look like? You remember back in the day, the World Poker Tour? You look like Chris Moneymaker.
I'm obviously not the moneymaker. I can't get anything. I can't get games right for the NFL. So don't
I
use
wonder
me
if that
as
was
a
his.
source.
I wonder if that was his real last name. I bet it wasn't.
Moneymaker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet that it wasn't his last name. Yeah, but I'm not gonna wear these the whole time. I'll wear them. I'll wear them on top of my head because it's gonna drive me nuts. Actually, no, I'm gonna wear them. I need something. I need a spark. I'm
You
losing to
do.
you. So all right, let's go. So Sundays,
Yep.
1 o'clock games. The first game, Baltimore at Cleveland. I think we all know who we're picking here.
Yeah. It's got it.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland, not that it matters, but Deshaun Watson tore his ACL or MCL or some kind of CL in his league or in his leg. Not that would really have an impact, but Jameis Winston's going to come in. He's going to take over. Jameis Winston could provide a little bit of magic, but it's not going to last.
Jameis Winston, the crab leg man. Yeah, I mean, you got to pick the Ravens here. You got to pick
Yeah.
the Ravens. They cheered as. Did you see the fans cheer Watson when he got hurt?
Yeah, I heard about it. I didn't see it, but I heard
Kind
about
of
it.
messed
Yeah.
up.
I mean, it's the Browns.
Welcome to Cleveland.
Welcome to Cleveland. Well, welcome to the Cleveland Browns team. We shouldn't classify excuse me. Welcome to Cleveland. Don't say Ohio because the Bengals are also residing in Ohio and their fans
Right.
love them. So, but yeah, definitely going Baltimore here. I think Derrick Henry's going to have another monster game. I'm going to say at least over 100 yards rushing for that guy. I hope Zay Flowers can show up. I know he was having some problems with his leg yesterday or last week in the game. That kind of scared me a little bit because he's one of my top fantasy wide receivers. So let's not get hurt, Zay. Let's get ourselves healthy, get out on the field. Lamar wants to get you the ball. You got to get Andy some points.
Yep, I feel that.
Your health's important too, but all right, so we're both taking Baltimore there. I'm gonna write these down this time. Okay, so Tim and Andy, Baltimore. All right, next game coming up is Tennessee at Detroit. There's your Super Bowl, boys.
I'm not going to pick against Detroit.
I'm just going to write it down because I know who you're going to pick.
Yeah.
Tennessee still looks abysmal. Will Levis is not the answer. I don't think anything's the answer right there. They just need to reset this whole year. They just got rid of D-Hop. He's a Chief now. Probably was their leading receiver. Calvin Ridley's still on that team, believe it or not. I haven't seen much of him this season. Tony Pollard's kind of been a wash. But I don't think that falls individually on those guys. I think it's a team thing. The morale's low. The morale's low, and when your morale's low like that and you're not motivated, you're not going to win. So definitely going Detroit here. They are riding high.
Yeah, agreed. Tennessee's got a lot of weapons. They're not using any of them.
Yeah.
So
you know who I was disappointed in last week of the Detroit Lion? David Montgomery. He had a little bit of a hamstring injury, came back on the field. He did attempt to get back in the game, but Jahmyr Gibbs took that game over in the rushing department. 2 touchdowns, lots of yards rushing. Jared Goff looked amazing again. Jameson Williams does have a suspension for 2 games. He violated the wellness policy, and did you hear he was asking how, like he was clueless or something?
Yeah.
How those drugs get in my system?
Not surprised.
Yeah, we knew it was gonna happen. Just a matter of when.
I was glad to see Gibbs do good. I have him on my fantasy team, and it's always tough when you have a player that he's in a timeshare.
Yeah.
Because he's in there with Montgomery. That's tough. It's tough to start somebody like that. But yeah, finally, really good game.
And Montgomery is a touchdown machine. So Gibbs basically has to score his points rushing from, either at the edge of the red zone or outside the red zone. Because when they get in the red zone, they're going to give it to David Montgomery if he's healthy. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
All right. So we're both taking Detroit for that game. The next game coming up is the Colts at the Texans. You did not. You picked against the Texans last week, which was understandable. They went up against Green Bay. Green Bay is a decent team right now. Who are you taking in this one? It's in Houston.
Yeah, I'm going with an upset here. Give me the Colts.
Okay. I'm gonna stick with the Texans. Even though they came coming off a loss last week, it was a close one in Green Bay, and I believe they played well. They need to get Stephon Diggs more involved. Their running game's great with Joe Mixon, perfect. But once you get that running game going, you gotta get it to your star wide receiver. Other receivers, tight ends, they're okay, but there's always that one wide receiver or tight end on the team that just gets you those yards, gets you those points, and that is Stephon Diggs, in my opinion. He's been quiet. He's been quiet the past couple weeks. But I think this could be a game where he comes back. This is going to be a good one. The Colts aren't a bad team. The Houston Texans are a good team. But I don't hate your pick. I don't hate the Colts pick, but I just feel like it's the Texans. So
yeah, I mean, the smart money says Houston here, but I'm going upset.
Smart don't go together.
Well, I'm 26-4, son.
Okay.
Listen, I'm going
speaking of Green,
the Colts are back to full health.
True.
Okay, now what does that mean? That means Jonathan Taylor's back, and he might only last a quarter. It means
but what's he going to do in that quarter?
Nothing. And Michael Pittman's back. What does that mean? Probably nothing. But give me the Colts.
I see your strategy here. You're gonna talk negative about him, so that way the opposite will happen on Sunday. I like it.
Michael Pittman is on my bench. He's staying on my bench until he proves otherwise.
Michael, well, yeah, let's not get on a Michael Pittman rant because we've only got so much time here. So,
We got a Caleb Williams rant coming up later, so I'm sure.
Great. All right, Packers in Jacksonville. Even though Jacksonville's coming off a good win last week, it was against the Patriots. They're coming back from London. Might still have a little bit of jet lag, even though it's been a week. Plus, the Packers are a better team. I'm going Packers here. You as well?
Yeah, too many crumpets, too much tea.
Too much time at Big Ben.
Packers.
I mean, they spent 2 weeks in London. This next game might be the toughest one to pick this weekend. Arizona in Miami. Tua's back, but what Tua are we going to get back? Are we going to get scared Tua, or are we going to get the same Tua we had before his 15th concussion happened? Tyreek Hill's happy. He's excited Tua's back. The confidence in Tyreek Hill is back. The happiness in the locker room is back. They're excited. I read some things saying the atmosphere is different. Tua stepped back in the leadership role. I'm torn on this one. I want to know what you think before I tell you what I think.
This is my lock of the week.
Okay.
Dolphins. Dolphins are playing at home. Tua's back. Tyreek Hill will be back in the end zone.
Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, Waddle. Somebody dropped Jalen Waddle in my other league the week before last. I don't know why that was a thing, but
probably not confident Tua would be back.
Yeah, I scooped him up. I don't even know if he's playing. He's questionable, but I think he's trending towards playing. But that Dolphins offense is pretty amazing when they have their right pieces on the field. I mean, Achane's healthy. Yeah, give me the Dolphins.
I'm going Dolphins as well. Just for the fact that everybody's healthy back on the team as well. I think Arizona could make it a close game, but I don't think they'll come out the winner. The next game coming up, the New York Jets at the New England Patriots. The Patriots always giving the Jets problems, no matter how good the team is. It feels like they always have the Jets number. Jets coming off a bad loss last week. Devontae Adams not happy. Aaron Rodgers never happy. Apparently, Aaron Rodgers has a hamstring issue, but the report is he is playing on Sunday. Will that make a difference?
Yep. I'm going to let you pick first on this one.
I'm going with your boys. Just because I feel like they're the better team. When I say team, I mean, like, I don't know how I'm going to explain it. I like them better defensively. The Jets are good defensively. I like Drake May. Hasn't disappointed me so far. And I think since it's in New England, basically that's the reason I'm picking the Patriots, because it's in New England. If it was in New York, I probably would pick the Jets. But I think Devontae Adams could have his breakout Jets game here as well. So we'll see. Yeah, that's my gamble. I'm going to roll the dice on it.
I feel dumb picking against my team here again, but I'm going to have to. Give me the Jets. Okay. You know, Drake May is a bright spot for the Patriots, but he's the only bright spot. And the coach just called out the entire team for being soft this week.
But that's how you motivate some players, right?
And the Jets, I guess, I don't like to call this a must-win for the Jets, but if they intend on going to the playoffs this year, this might be a must-win game.
I agree with that.
So yeah, give me the Jets. They just have better pieces here. The Patriots don't have anything good going for them. I mean, Drake May's okay. They have decent beer prices in Foxborough. Other than that, they got nothing going for them.
Worst case scenario, the New England Patriots fans can drown their sorrows on Sunday.
Yeah, I've been a couple times. The beer prices are not awful. You know, you think you go to a stadium, you're going to spend $10 for a beer. It's not. It's fairly affordable.
Which is surprising because the stadium is literally out in the middle of nowhere.
It is. Yeah, it's like 30 minutes from Boston. It's like a 30-minute drive. You're just like you're driving through trees and trees and trees, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's a stadium.
Championship City.
I mean, you know.
All right, next game up, the Atlanta Falcons at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Who you got?
This is a tough one because, you know, I would immediately say the Buccaneers with Baker, but we got, Baker's got a real issue now. Okay, Godwin's out for the year.
Yep.
Evans is out for at least like another 3 or 4 weeks.
Yep.
Bucky Irving is now hurt.
Mm-hmm.
They have nobody. They have a rookie wide receiver who's just okay, and they have Kate Otten.
He's been
But
all
you
right
know
this
what?
year so far.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to be all right because they don't have anybody to throw to. But you know what? In Baker we trust. Gimme the Bucks anyway. I feel like that's an irresponsible pick, but gimme Baker.
I was torn between this pick for the exact reason that I think Tampa Bay's defense could give Atlanta problems because their defense is still healthy. It's just all their offensive weapons that aren't healthy. But since you called it irresponsible, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, I think that's a smart pick. I feel like you got my number this week. In the Tampa defense, the Tampa defense got 40-some points hung on them last week.
By Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry.
Whatever.
All right, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. Then you got Kirk Cousins and Bijan Mustard Robinson.
Not that far off. It's not that far off.
Okay, the Bijan Derrick Henry comparison, sure, I can see it, but the Lamar Kirk Cousins comparison, come on. I'm a Kirk Cousins fan as much as anybody else, but he's no Lamar Jackson when Lamar Jackson plays decent.
Agreed. Give me Baker.
All right, you're taking Baker. I'm taking Captain Kirk. All right, next game up, Philadelphia and Cincinnati. Eagles, Bengals.
This is a tough one.
Will the Tiger eat the Eagle?
This is a tough one.
Are we going to see the Joe Burrow Jamar Chase connection? Are we going to see the Joe Burrow T Higgins connection? Are we going to see the old Cincinnati Bengals, the championship AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals? Or are we going to see the Bengals that showed up against the New York Giants a couple weeks ago and couldn't put points on the board?
Yeah, I wish you wouldn't have said that because I was leaning the Bengals. Give me the Bengals, though. I think, they're at home. They have an amazing pass attack. Philly is known for having just a busted secondary. I don't know. I think this is going to be a real close one, but I'll take the Bengals.
Okay, I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles. My number one reason is Saquon Barkley had a great game last week. He's finally back on track, and I think he stays on track here. It'll be tough. I don't think he'll have as great of a game as last week, yardage-wise, but I think he'll still produce. A.J. Brown's been showing up as well for the Eagles again now that he's back in the lineup. I'm still unsure about Jalen Hurts, though. He's been my big question mark this season. I have him in one of my fantasy leagues as a quarterback, and he has been on my bench since probably about week 2 or 3, whatever week they started, kind of going downhill. And I've been playing Brock Purdy in his place. But I'm thinking about moving Jalen back in. I don't know if this is the game to do it yet. But I think Barkley and Brown are too much for the Bengals. And I think this is another fall-apart Joe Burrow game. Well, I don't want to say fall apart because he doesn't fall apart. But it just does things you don't expect Joe Burrow to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So I got the Eagles. You got the Bengals. Next game up, New Orleans Saints at the Los Angeles Chargers. Who you got in this one?
Give me the Chargers. I like what J.K. Dobbins is doing. The Chargers offense is not awful. I mean, and it's in San Diego. The Saints have really fallen apart, man. So the Saints in the first 2 games they were 2-0. They scored every single time the offense had the ball. Since that time, they're 0-5, and they look like they're on par with the Patriots and the Jags. So,
I agree.
Chargers.
And the rookie quarterback, Spencer Rattler, hasn't looked horrible, but obviously not getting the job done. They have a lot of injuries still at wide receiver, too. And Alvin Kamara isn't the same Alvin Kamara lately.
He can't do it all.
I'm taking the Chargers, too. I think this could be a field goal fest.
Could be.
I mean, that's what the Chargers had last Monday night. They didn't score any points with one of the top paid quarterbacks in the league, Justin Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about flying under the radar. Talk about overrated right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jeez, man. He was I remember he was in talks for MVP a couple of seasons ago, and now he's just nothing so far anyways. Oh, this one got cut off. I can't read this one. Oh, Buffalo and Seattle. This could be a good game.
Is it in Seattle?
It is in Seattle.
I'll let you pick.
Okay, I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Buffalo. My reasoning. Oh, so one thing I want to highlight with Buffalo before I get into my reason, I saw a video. I didn't watch any of the Buffalo's game last week where Amari Cooper made his debut, but I did see a clip where Josh Allen called an audible, and Amari Cooper had absolutely no clue what to do, and he looked to Keon Coleman, and you could hear him on the camera say, "What do I do, man?" And Keon Coleman just points, points down there, and boom, Amari Cooper's first touchdown is a Buffalo Bill.
Wow.
I think they'll continue that magic, the Amari Cooper cluelessness,
Mhm.
and it'll just get him open. He just run where he wants, and I think Josh Allen's finally excited to have a receiver like that. Not that the other Buffalo receivers aren't great, but I think Buffalo comes out the winner in this one. I think they're just too tough.
Yeah.
Seattle can make it a game, especially since it's in Seattle. But I'm going Buffalo.
I'm gonna go with Geno. I'm gonna go with Geno Smith at home. They got Kenneth Walker there. Amazing wide receivers all over the place. Geno's playing really good this year.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people were talking about him. A lot of fantasy teams, he's just available in some leagues for some reason. Yeah. I think this is going to be another close one, and it has the potential for a shootout. So I'll take
DK's
the
hurt.
home team.
DK's hurt, right?
We don't need DK. We got Lockett,
Okay.
Smith, and
All right.
Jigba.
I'll remember that when Smith and Jigba has 15 yards receiving on 8 targets and 2 receptions, and then Tyler Lockett's got 1 reception for 3 yards. I'll remember that.
Yeah, I saw DK got carted off.
Yeah, it didn't look good. That's a big blow for the Seahawks, but we'll see. Like you said, they got a lot of offensive weapons. I think they'll be just fine without him. But
yeah,
he definitely helps. But yeah, next game coming up. This could be a really good one. Your boy Caleb Williams going up against Jaden Daniels. I did see a report earlier today. Jaden Daniels is planning to play per Dan Quinn. It's in Washington. Number 1 and number 2 draft pick of the 2024 NFL season. So happy Jaden Daniels is playing. I was hoping he wouldn't miss this game, but if he did miss this game, I was going to be okay with it because I don't want another RG3 situation.
No, definitely not. Yeah, give me Washington.
Okay.
Yeah, and for obvious reasons. I don't like what Caleb Williams is doing. I don't like his trash talk after every game that he wins, or he calls out his defense. So I predict that the Redskins Commanders win big, and after the game, Caleb Williams is going to complain about the Bears' defense.
But is that competitiveness or is that being petty?
I don't know. I just don't like it.
I mean, the man's been producing. He's been doing well for a rookie.
He's been okay. To be fair, he's been producing and he's been getting wins against bad teams. They beat the Jaguars a couple weeks back. Okay. And then after the game, he's talking all kinds of trash to the media about, oh, well, if you didn't pick me first in your fantasy football draft, then apparently you must be new here. Dude, it's the Jaguars from Jacksonville. You didn't do anything. Just calm down a little bit. Now the Bears have to play what I would call a good offense. And, like I said, my prediction of the week is Washington wins. Caleb Williams has some nonsense to say in the media about his defense.
Raise your hand if the words good offense and Washington Commanders would be in the same sentence this year. Wasn't on my bingo card.
No,
I'm glad it is, though.
Yep.
All right. So next game up, this could either be a really good game or this could be the dud of the week. Carolina at Denver.
Carolina's got injuries everywhere.
Andy Dalton just got in a car crash the other day.
So Dalton has a busted thumb from a car crash. Deontay Johnson, I just read, is out. He is out, confirmed. Somebody else over there is hurt. That's just they're busted. But then on the other side, you got Bo Nix, and I told you I wasn't going to pick Bo Nix. So now I got a real problem.
Do you pick the team that you never pick every week, or do you pick the quarterback's team that you never pick every week?
Also, the Broncos. You see Josh Reynolds rap?
Yeah,
Reynolds rep. He got
yeah,
shot.
he did. He did.
Dude went out here to a strip club and got popped twice.
Wrong place, wrong time, buddy.
Got popped in the arm and the back of the head, apparently, but he's fine. Like, what is
Wow.
going on?
Were you with
Yeah.
him? How do you know all that?
Yeah, I was with him. No, I read the story, dude.
All right, so who are you taking? I'm taking Denver.
Yeah, give me Denver.
All of that, yeah, give me Denver. Are
I'm
we? Are
only
we?
picking Denver
I
to
want to hear
cancel
your.
your pick. I
I want
don't
to hear
really
your.
know.
I want to hear your Bo Nix predictions.
Okay, give me Denver to win by 3. Probably 6-3 a final score. I like Bo Nix going 7 for 25. See 7 for 25 and 68 yards.
Any rushing
No
yards?
touchdowns, 1 pick.
-3 rushing yards.
Nah, give him 4 rushing yards.
I'm writing all this down.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to laugh if this is exactly what happens. All right. So we're both picking Denver. Next game up, Kansas City Chiefs, the only undefeated team left in the NFL, the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm taking Chiefs.
Yeah, it's got to be the Chiefs. I think the Raiders are just. I think we talked about this last week. I think they've kind of just given up on the season. I mean, they're trading people away. You got some dissension in the locker room. It's just not a good situation.
I agree. And the Chiefs are on a roll like always. Patrick Mahomes, you can't stop him.
Yep.
Even mediocre Patrick Mahomes is like top 2 quarterbacks in the NFL. So, yeah, definitely Chiefs right here, even though it's in Las Vegas.
Yeah. His stats are real. His stats are bad this year. His stats are
Yeah.
not great. His
I
stat
know.
line for the year, but hey, it doesn't matter. They're still 6-0. That's got to be really disheartening to the other teams, especially in the AFC. You know, like you said, you can get a downtrodden Patrick Mahomes. Doesn't matter. You're still gonna lose. So
You're still gonna get busted right in the mouth.
this is like Brady back in the day. You know, he has a bad game, the defense will bail him out.
It does seem like a very Brady-esque situation. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes, I hate to say it, but he's the man right now, overall. Well, so next game, this is a game where if I would have looked at this on the schedule, I would have thought both of these teams would have had maybe one loss, maybe undefeated. Dallas at San Francisco. But both teams are, I want to say stalling to put it nicely, but I'm going to say drowning. They're drowning right now. Dallas' running back situation is not good. San Francisco doesn't have Brandon Ayuk now. He went down with an ACL tear. He's got season-ending surgery. Christian McCaffrey was supposed to come back last week, but now he's being held off till after the bye week. What does that tell you? Is he completely healthy yet? Are they holding him back just for the sole purpose of they don't want to rush him back in? A lot of unanswered questions there. It's just I'd feel bad if anybody was a San Francisco or a Dallas fan right now, especially Dallas. Did you hear this? We talked about the stuff Jerry Jones said, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard
it's a bad time for both camps right now.
It is. It really is. And but the funny part is they'll both still be the most popular teams in the NFL.
Probably.
That's what bugs me the most. This game's in San Francisco, so I'm gonna take San Francisco here. They're the less disheveled team here.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Cowboys though.
Okay.
You know, like you said, Ayuk's out for the 49ers. Debo Samuel's been sick. I don't know, some kind of illness or something. I don't know what's going on there. Jordan Mason looks great, so that's a bright spot. But
speaking of players getting shot, Ricky Purcell, he was shot at the beginning of the season, but he's made a comeback.
Right.
He's been doing all right. So
yeah. Yep.
And Juwan Jennings is a pretty good receiver over there.
Yeah, Jennings has been great. Yeah.
But continue.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Cowboys. I mean, I know their run game is like non-existent, but their passing attack is strong. I think this could be another game that's going to be really close, but I'll take the Cowboys. And you know, the Cowboys running back situation, I don't even understand that. Like, I don't know how you can come up to a season and you have Rico Dowdle, okay, as your number 1 on the depth chart, you know, and you think to yourself, A, hey, this is going to work. And then you think, B, well, if it doesn't, we'll just bring Zeke back.
That's a Washington Commanders move right there.
What are they doing?
Old regime, huh?
I mean, what are they doing? What kind of plan was that? I mean, think about this. You've got one of the better quarterbacks in the league. You have arguably the best wide receiver in the league. Okay. Top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And then you have a supporting cast who isn't bad. Why wouldn't you try to fix that running back situation? Because now they have a real problem. Because other teams know that the Cowboys are one-dimensional.
Well, when you play Washington, the Washington Commanders, Redskins, whatever you want to call them, enough times under that old ownership, you start to act like them, and that's exactly what Washington used to do. I don't know how many times they started the season with a C+ running back, and their backup was, oh, we'll just sign a free agent somewhere, or we'll just bring in somebody we used to have that wants to come back to the team. I mean, if it works out for you, great. If the person you're betting on at the beginning of the season is you think is a C+, and they turn into a B+, or even an A, or even a B- player, good on you. It makes you look great. But when it doesn't work, you look like you stink.
Yep.
I heard the coach, they're thinking about getting rid of the coach too. Who's the Dallas coach? McCarthy?
Oh, really? Yeah.
I heard. I don't know how true it is, but when you're a Dallas Cowboy fan, panic mode seems to be the normal way to go these days. So not surprising that they would panic and do that and try to get somebody else. Seems like a Dallas Cowboy move right now. Man, it feels good. It feels good to bash the Cowboys and them actually be bad.
Yeah. Good time to be a Washington fan right now.
It is. Let's knock on wood.
For,
You don't want it to
for
go
now.
away.
For now.
Yeah. Well, we've got a lot of football left. Not a lot of games left, though, for the week. Here's the Monday night game. New York Giants at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be the Steelers. I mean, they're winning. They're winning, and they're winning a lot of close games. And
Russell Wilson looked great.
Yeah, nothing wrong with Russell Wilson. I mean, I said that before the season. I mean, I don't know why they went out and signed Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Didn't understand that move at all. But, nothing wrong with Russell Wilson. I mean, Najee is still Najee. I mean, sometimes he has good games, sometimes he doesn't, and the defense is strong when it needs to be. So
the thing I think really helped him last week with Wilson is Wilson was able to get back into looking like his old self. He was throwing the ball. Justin Fields, when he was in, I could probably count on one hand the amount of receivers he targeted throughout the game. George Pickens was upset because he wasn't getting targets. The other receivers in Pittsburgh were upset. And then Russell Wilson strolls right in, puts his helmet on, and boom, over 260 yards passing, couple touchdowns, rushing touchdown, looking like the Russell Wilson that won the Super Bowl. And if that keeps up, I think Pittsburgh is very dangerous. They already got the defense in place. Now look at the Baltimore Ravens championship, 1999, 2000, whatever year that was. Trent Dilfer was the quarterback.
Right.
Nothing against Trent Dilfer, but Trent Dilfer's not Tom Brady. Trent Dilfer's not Joe Montana.
The defense won that season. The defense won that Super Bowl. But let's be careful that we're not. I see your comparison, but
I'm no way comparing these Pittsburgh Steelers to those Baltimore Ravens. That Baltimore Ravens defense was untouchable. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not a Ravens fan, but those guys were stacked.
That 2000 defense was one of the best in history.
Yes. Now Pittsburgh's good this year. They have a lot of pieces, good defensive pieces. And I think if you play your cards right, Mike Tomlin's a smart coach, and you put the right pieces at the right place in the right time, you could make it far in the playoffs, at least make the playoffs. It'll be tough getting a 1 seed. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that goes to the Ravens. But I mean, they could make it as a wild card team, and at least a playoff berth is a successful season, in my opinion. I mean, I'm a Washington fan, so
yeah. The Steelers are always good for making the playoffs. They always make the playoffs. They just don't really go anywhere. Yeah. So luckily for us, we're not talking playoffs right now. We're just talking regular season. Yeah. So I think the game is going to definitely go to the Steelers. They win a lot of close ones, which is a big deal, and I mean, hey, if it's close, I mean, and they're behind, Mike Tomlin could just trip somebody on the sideline again. I mean, they might not catch it.
True. All right, so we got a lot of games. This is probably the most games different we've had this week. We have 5 different ones
Mhm.
out of the 15 that are being played. Usually, there's only like 2 or 3 that are different because our records are usually pretty close. So we'll see how it plays out. I'm sorry, it's 14 games because we're not doing the Thursday night game because this is Friday today.
Come in here with your cool glasses. Think they're going to save you.
Hey, if these work, I'm wearing them for the rest of the season. I can take them off now. The picks are over.
Okay, we'll see.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in, hanging out today, and we'll see how things fare. We're not doing a. Are we doing a score for the Monday night game? I forgot to ask you that.
We have an odd number. We have an odd number difference, so we don't need a score, I don't think.
Okay, cool. Fine by me. We didn't do it last week, and it didn't matter because you crushed me. So
put me down for Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones for 3 turnovers.
D Jones, 3 picks. Any of them pick sixes?
Well, no. 3 turnovers because I think he might have a fumble in there.
All right, 3 turnovers. Gotcha. Not Apple, right?
Always Apple if you're going to get a turnover. But if it's Daniel Jones, you probably get 2 through the air and 1 on the ground.